hosts tonight on this very exciting evening, which is in fact one of 3 events that we're holding over the next 10 days. Now, today is part 1 of Introduction to Coach Training with Gerard O'Donovan. Then on Saturday, we have coaching masterclass that you're also welcome to join. And next Thursday, we're doing part 2 of also the Introduction to Coaching event with Gerard O'Donovan. We'll tell you more about all of these events as we go tonight. So before we go into the actual presentation, I'm so happy to say that we have a really, really multinational audience tonight, which is so exciting. And it makes me so thankful for the fact that we can do these events online, because I would have never otherwise met all of you wonderful people from, let me read you in alphabetical order: Albania, Argentina, Bosnia, Bulgaria, Canada, Croatia, Germany, Greece, India, Jordan, Lebanon, and Netherlands, North Macedonia, Poland, Portugal, Qatar, Romania, Serbia, Singapore, South Africa, Switzerland, the United Arabic Emirates, UK, and the United States of America. Now, did I miss anybody? It's not on purpose. Probably we didn't manage to count everybody because we have a lot. So if I missed your country, please speak up and put it in the chat so we can welcome you as well. And yes, thank you for being here. So my partner Brian and I are the managing director for Noble Manhattan Coaching in Eastern Europe, particularly focusing on developing coach training education in the countries of the Balkan region. Of course, since Noble Manhattan is really an international and global company, a lot of our students and clients go a little beyond also the Balkans, but this is the area that we are primarily responsible. But as you can see tonight, webinar has attracted people from a lot more countries than that. And the speaker of for tonight is Gerard O'Donovan. It is a great pleasure for me to introduce him to you and to invite him to lead this meeting. Yes, he's the founder and the primary CEO of Noble Manhattan Coaching Group, the leading coach training company that is currently developing amazing coaches on 3 continents. But he's also a very amazing person. You'll get to know him as you go tonight and next week as well, with real love for people and real love for coaching. When we talk about coaching, there are very few people around the globe and in the history of coaching that we can say about them that they're some of the founders of the coaching industry. And Gerard is one of them, and we have the honor of having him tonight. But another exciting thing for me is that, in fact, when I first met Noble Manhattan, that was 11 years ago, Gerard, I think.
Wow.
Something like that. And I met him at a similar Introduction to Coach Training event. At the time, well, we didn't have lockdowns, so we were holding them face-to-face, and we were living in Romania, Brian and I. And he was visiting the country, so we met. That was 11 years ago, and I remember how impressed and excited and motivated I felt about coaching and what it can do. And ever since then, that has been part of my passion to share this amazing knowledge and opportunity with the people in my own country where I'm born, which is Bulgaria, as well as the surrounding countries, and to develop this industry here. And so I'm very happy to give this opportunity to you all as well, to meet Gerard O'Donovan and to meet coaching and to enjoy an introduction to coach training. So Gerard, over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Catherine. And it's a joy to be here. It's funny, you know, Catherine and I and Brian, we are friends, we are partners, we are colleagues, we are working together in the coaching industry across many, many countries to help to raise the profile of coaches and coaching. And it's been, Noble Manhattan is like a family, you see. We become so close no matter where we are in the world. Now, I want to thank all of you, and I really mean this. I really want to thank you for giving me your most precious gift today, your time. Now, we're going to be together for, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours. Don't worry, we'll take a coffee break in the middle, let you go and stretch your legs and make a cup of tea after about an hour and a half. But the purpose of today, it's not for me to talk. The purpose is for you to learn, to understand, to get a feeling for this world of coaching, who we are, how it works, what it does. And I want you to be free to ask any questions you want. It'll probably be best if you type them. There's a chat box somewhere on your Zoom screen. Please type any question at all. One of the team will look at them and then they will interrupt me and ask your question on your behalf. I don't want you to leave without having your questions answered. So today is about you, to help you to know, to understand, to learn, and to develop an internal, emotional, and intellectual feeling about this world of coaching. What does it mean to train to be a coach? And when you are trained, what does it mean to actually be a coach out in the world today? What does it look like? What did it look like before this strange coronavirus situation? What does it look like now? And what does the future hold? So we will cover all of that. I look forward so much to getting to know you. Before we do that, I'm going to play you a 1 minute, 20-second video. It's our vision for Noble Manhattan for the next few years. And hopefully you can all see my screen. If at any point you can't, Catherine or Brian can talk up and let me know. So here we go. It's only a minute long.
Noble Manhattan Coaching 2034. Our 2034 vision and mission for a brighter world. Noble Manhattan Coaching stands as a force for good. We train and support magnificent coaches. One magnificent coach can positively impact the lives of 10,000 people in their lifetime. Our higher purpose is to help in positively changing the lives of as many people in the world as possible. Our mission? To inspire and train magnificent coaches to create positive change in this world. We have already generated a massive impact and a positive paradigm shift in people's lives, but we want to do more. Our vision? To make a positive difference to millions of people by training 25,000 magnificent coaches over the next 14 years.
Well, thank you for watching that. I really appreciate it. Before we begin, let me tell you a little bit about Noble Manhattan and who we are as an organization, and more importantly, what can we do for you and why do we exist? Well, Noble Manhattan is not just a company. We are a group of companies. We started many years ago and we set up Noble Manhattan Coaching Limited, a coach training organization. It started in the United Kingdom, and the aim and the vision was to train magnificent coaches. As the years have gone by, the group has grown. And one of our aims is not just to train great coaches, but it's to make sure that when we have trained those coaches, once they are trained, once they are qualified, when they go out into the wide world, that they have all of the backup, the help, and the support that they will need to build a successful and financially rewarding career. So I want to show you, before we begin and I explain about coaching, I want to show you the shape of the Noble Manhattan Group. At the center lies the company you can see on screen, Noble Manhattan Coaching. We are a coach training school. You may or may not know, but in the world today, there are approximately 900 coach training schools all over the world. Noble Manhattan, we are in the top 3 in terms of coach training, in terms of size, geographic footprint, and so on, and the numbers of coaches we've trained. But we're not just a coach training company. We're here to support you as well. So therefore, we have another division called Coaching Support. And Coaching Support, we run physical and online meetings in dozens of countries and cities all over the world. And these are here to help to continue your training, your networking, your knowledge, your support. We then have Coach Finder. Coach Finder is one of the world's biggest online directory of coaches. And this is available to every one of our students and our coaches, no matter where they are in the world. You can set up a beautiful full color profile so that any clients who are looking for a coach can find you. It's the world's fastest growing directory of international coaches. It helps you to be recognized, to be seen, to raise your brand. And it's free. These are the categories. Look, we have hundreds of people in business coaching, health and wellness, sports coaching, goal coaching, life coaching, and much, much more. You can set up a beautiful full profile with full biography. Here's some of our recent people: Awana from Romania, Maris from Manila, Julia, who's with us today, from Geneva, Anna, Carmen from Aarhus, which is in Denmark, and so on. So that's just one of our divisions to help you get found by clients. We own the International Coaching News, the biggest magazine in the coaching world. And every one of our coaches has the ability, if they wish, to write for the magazine and be seen, be read, be heard. And it's free. We own Coach Radio. Coach Radio is an online platform, and we make available that every one of our students and coaches can have their own radio show, and here's the important point, in their own language. In their own language. Let's see what's happening right now.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Talk Money Show, the show where we talk all about money.
And this is Agnesia. Agnesia is from South Africa. She's one of our wonderful, wonderful coaches. We then have a publishing arm, and this is to help you. We will publish for you anything that can be delivered electronically. So ebooks, articles, case studies, PDFs, interviews, and so on. The site has got a great name. It's called booksforyou.online. And this is one of our publishing arms. And again, it's to help you be successful. We have a division called Get Coaching Leads. And the name probably speaks for itself. It's designed to help you generate interested clients, leads, people who are interested in having you as their coach. We have the coaching blog. The coaching blog was voted in the top 20 in the world out of 47 million blogs last year. And it rates for the topics coaching and leadership. We make this available to all of you completely free of charge if you want to have an article or a post on the blog. So I won't bore you with any more of that. Let me start to get into the meat of this. So, Noble Manhattan Coaching. Let's now talk about coaching, what it is, what it does. So nice welcome. Before I do that, let me tell you again a little bit about our organization. Me personally, I established Noble Manhattan in 1993, but not as a coaching company. It was a personal development company, running courses on things like, attitude, power of the mind, goal achievement, presentation skills, and so on. Personally, I then came across the world of life coaching in 1995, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I just thought, this is it. This is the one for me. I live in the United Kingdom, and back in 1995, there was nothing. There was nothing in terms of coach training available. So I trained with some American organizations, and I took over a year to train. I did a number of courses. And then I started to coach in 1996. And I coached and coached and coached every day, learning my trade, being an apprentice, experimenting, growing, creating models, and so on. And I did that literally daily for 3 years. And then in 1999, at the end of 99, the beginning of 2000, we started to train coaches. So this year is literally our 20th year of training men and women to be magnificent coaches. Up until now, we have trained in the region of 25,000 people to be incredible coaches, and we now trade in 28 countries around the world. The company it started off as a United Kingdom, an English company, and our head office is still in a small town on the south of England called Weymouth, but now we have become international. We have a head office team of about 10. We have over 60 what we call faculty, trainers, mentors, professors, teachers who work with us delivering our programs. And we have over 300 other people who work with us as alpha group directors, support group leaders, support group officers, and many, many other roles, strategic partners, joint venture partners, and so on, bringing the total to in the region of just over 400. So that's a little bit about who we are. Now let me tell you about what we call in our business the 4 pillars of coaching, the 4 foundations, the 4 fundamentals. And I'm deliberately showing them all to you right up front, and I'll take you through these. When I finish this little section, I'll stop in case anyone would like to ask any questions, and I'll deal with those before I move on. Now, what is very interesting, ladies and gentlemen, is that even before this coronavirus terrible situation descended on the world, it may surprise you to learn that 90% of personal coaching, 90%, was already being delivered at a distance using telephone, Zoom, Skype, and that sort of program. Now that we have entered this coronavirus world reality, that has risen, and it's literally just under the 100%. I personally, as we speak to you now, I have clients in San Diego, in America, in a place called Gdansk in the north of Poland, in a city called Singapore in the Far East. And I deal with all of them using both Zoom and Skype. And it works incredibly well. In fact, it comes as a surprise to many people to learn that coaching over a program like Zoom or Skype can be just as effective as physically sitting with someone face to face and having a coffee. So what does that mean for you? Well, it means a lot of things, but the biggest thing it means is this: it no longer matters where you live. Now, I just want you to think about that. It no longer matters where you live. You can develop your coach business, your coaching business, you're coaching clients literally anywhere in the world. You can live in Nairobi in Kenya, and you can have clients in America and in Thailand and in Moscow. You can live in Warsaw in Poland and have clients in San Francisco and in Bangkok and all over Europe. This means you are no longer restricted by having clients in your local geographic area. And it opens up the world to you. And it means it makes it easier for you to build and grow a highly profitable coaching business. And we teach you how to do all this. So we teach all this. The next pillar of coaching is all good coaches are non-judgmental. What does that mean? What does that mean? It means that to a good coach, it should not matter who your client is. It should not matter if they are tall or short, young or old, rich or poor. It should not matter the color of their skin or the religious belief that they have. Because good coaches are non-judgmental. Now, having said that, we have a problem. And the problem is this. You see, the truth is we are all judgmental. Every one of us. You know, wherever we live, we grew up in a family and we got influenced. We went to school. We got influenced. Today, you have best friends you meet for a coffee and they influence you. You have television programs you like to watch. They influence you. So believe it or believe it not, all of us are carrying a huge weight of judgments on our shoulders. When you train to be a coach, when you train, one of the things that you will go through is what we call a clearing and cleaning process. And you learn how to take your judgments, like a jacket or a coat, take them off and put them to one side. So that during the coaching process, when you are with your client, during that very special time, you are clear of judgments. And then, when your coaching session is finished, if you really, really want to, you can put your judgments back on again. But something weird happens, something strange. The more you do it, the more you become it. The more you practice being non-judgmental, the more as a human being you become more non-judgmental. And you know what? I think that's a good thing. But of course, that even that is a judgment. So it's difficult to get away from this. So to be a good coach, you need to have within you the willingness to learn how to be non-judgmental. Now, before I go on, let me just develop this point a little bit more. We were talking just casually, a few of us introducing ourselves before we started this session. And I indicated that I travel quite a bit and I've been to over 60 countries around the world and I love meeting all of our students and coaches. And I get asked questions wherever I go. And people ask all sorts of questions. But there's one question that comes up a lot. And that question is, what is it? What is it that you need to be a really good coach? Now, ladies and gentlemen, there are two answers to that question. There's the official answer and there's the truth. And the official answer is, well, you need so much. You need to be an expert on things like questioning skills, listening skills, values, ethics, beliefs, self-esteem, building rapport, goal planning, goal setting, dealing with abundance, dealing with adversity, and much, much more. But that's not the truth. The truth actually is you need one thing. You need to have within you a love of other people. You need to really love working with people. And if you have that, we can teach you all the stuff. We can teach you questioning skills, listening skills, values, ethics, belief, dealing with abundance, building rapport, goals. And we can teach you all the necessary knowledge, techniques, coaching models, and so on. But we can't teach you to love other people. So you need to have that within you. So you will know that yourself, of course. You'll know if you are that type of person. So what do you need? You need to have within you a love of working with other people. So that's the first real fundamental pillar or foundation of coaching. Coaches are non-judgmental, and you as a human being need to love other people. Next, non-directional. Non-directional, what does that mean? Well, there are certain words that a coach would never use. Words like must, have to, ought to, should. We don't point fingers. We don't tell people what to do. Now, is there anything wrong in being directional? No, 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 no. There are times in life it might require it. For example, if we were having this meeting in a hotel, in a conference room, and the fire alarm bells went off, and one of you stood up and said, everyone, be quiet, listen to me, and do exactly as I tell you, and I will lead you out of here safely. You know, if that happened, I would be right behind you. I would not want to call a meeting to discuss it. So there are times in life when it is perfectly acceptable to be directional. But coaching is not. Coaching is non-directional. And it's very important to understand that. Sometimes if people have come from certain backgrounds, they have a little challenge switching to this way of working. If they have come from, let us say, a management consultancy background or something like that, it takes a little bit of effort to learn how to become non-directional. So that would be the second major foundational pillar. And the third, the final, but it's not the final, it's actually the number one. It is the basis of all coaching, and it is this: coaches have no answer. We have no answer. And sometimes clients will get confused and they say, you know, I'm paying you all of this money, and you don't even give me an answer. And it's true. And it's actually based on something that Einstein said in the 1930s. I'm sure you all know who Albert Einstein is or was. And if I can recall without looking at any notes, what did he say? He said, in order to solve the problems that we currently face in life, we must access a higher level of intelligence than that which we used to originally create the problems. So I'll say that again, and I'll say it a bit slower this time, in case you want to note it down. In order to solve the problems that we currently face in life, we must access a higher level of intelligence than that which we used to originally create the problems. Now, there are two messages within Einstein's statement. And the first message actually is a little bit negative between you and I. The first message says that you and I, whatever we are experiencing, we've actually created it. We have drawn it to ourselves. And in the world of coaching, we use the phrase, we create our own reality. But to be quite honest, if you and I are going through something difficult in life, something painful, something that's causing us hurt and anguish, you know, to be really honest, you don't want someone telling you you've caused it yourself. But actually, we have. And how did we do it? Well, today, I don't want to bore you all with talking about holographic universes, electromagnetism. I don't want to talk to you about the power of vibration, the power of thought, and all of that, even though all of that is actually very, very relevant. I'll just give you one little example of how we create our world. And that is decisions. You and I make hundreds, if not thousands, of decisions every month. And these decisions create the world we live in. That decision to have that extra alcoholic drink or not. That decision to have that cigarette or not. That decision to get up early or lie in bed. That decision to spend another 3 hours watching television or go for a walk in the fresh air. That decision to have a relationship with the same type of person yet again. That decision when you're walking downtown and you are feeling hungry and you turn left into McDonald's, or you turn right into something healthy like a juice bar or salad bar or something. These are the decisions that make our life. And I love that. I have to tell you all, I love that so much, because it means that you and I are in charge. You and I are in control. And you and I can immediately start making different decisions, new decisions. And as soon as we do that, we will start to experience completely different results. So I love the fact that you and I can indeed create our own reality. We just have to be aware that we are in the driving seat and that life isn't just happening to us. We have to take charge of it. So that's the first part of Einstein's statement, that we create our reality. The second message within his statement is a bit more involved, and I'm not sure how to explain it. There's well over 50 of us on this call today from all over the world. I don't know you, and you don't know me. But the interesting thing is, actually, I know an awful lot about you. I know a huge amount about you. First of all, I know that you are human beings. And as human beings, you have within you the most incredible power. You have a strength. You have a magnificence. You have an ability that if you only truly knew how great and magnificent you are, you would be shaken to the core in a good way. Not only that, you as human beings have an inner light that shines, that is out of this world. And I use that phrase deliberately. In fact, I'll say it again. You have an inner light that shines, that is out of this world. But you are not only human beings, you are also spiritual beings. And as spiritual beings, you have within you the ability to access any and all resources that you should ever need to help you to set and achieve any goal you want in life. Not only that, you have the ability within you to access any and all resources to help you deal with any issue, challenge, or problem that life throws at you. This I know with a deep and profound sense of knowing. The only problem is that when we're little babies and children, no one ever sits us down and teaches us about the power within us and how to access that power and how to direct it outwards. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we as coaches do for our clients. We help them to understand that they have the power, and we help them to, using very sophisticated coaching models and coaching methods, we help them to reach deep down inside themselves and to come up with the answer that is true and appropriate for them. So I think what I'll do now is just stop here and pause for a few moments and see if anyone has any questions, and if they'd like to ask any questions on anything we've covered so far before I move on again. And please feel free to type your questions, and I can see some people have, in order to make sure that we can all hear, yeah. Your decisions are the result of your life. Well done, Jose. And Abir, you put very clear, thank you. So does anyone have any questions that they would like me to clarify or go into in more detail, just on this particular area that we've covered? If not, I'm happy to move on and take it from there. Okay, so let me start my screen share again. So do whiteboard and you share PowerPoint. Okay, so let me just do this and I will. Okay, sorry about this. I'm just getting my sharing. So I'm going, hopefully you should be able to see my whiteboard, and I'm going to use my pen and draw. And because I'm drawing on a laptop screen, it's not going to be absolutely perfect. So please forgive me, all of you. So how do we as coaches help everyone to reach deep down within themselves? Well, the good news is we have a number of techniques. And one of the things we do, we have a thing called coaching. Coaching tools. There are over 150 coaching models and tools and systems that a good coach would learn how to work with their clients. One of those is called the Wheel of Life. The Wheel of Life divides our life into many different areas. One would be, I guess, you'd be your health, your career, your money. And by the way, money is not the same as career. A lot of people make the mistake of joining the two together. They are very, very separate. Then there's the people around you that you love. Then there's your intellectual ability. That's your knowledge, what you've learned, what you know. Then, of course, there is your emotional state. And again, that is so crucial today. Then we have, I'll just put fun, which would be friends, family, socializing, etc. And then finally, my favorite, I'll just put S for spiritual, developing a more spiritual side to your life. Now, I've shown you 8 sections here. There are many, many, many more. And a good coach would work with their clients, helping them, first of all, to get rid of obstacles in these areas, and then to set and achieve goals in each of these areas, one by one, but doing it in what we would call a holistic, a balanced way. You see, there's no point in becoming a multi-millionaire if you have a heart attack and die on the way. We would call that counterproductive. There's no point in making yourself into a multi-millionaire if you lose everyone you love along the way. So a good coach would work using tools like this, and there are countless others. As I said, there are well over 150 completely separate coaching models, tools, techniques, and systems. And we as a company teach our students many of these, what we call questioning techniques and skills on their courses. So let me clear. So this is what a good coach would do. Now, I've created a definition of coaching, and I'm just going to share that with you in a second. So share and share again. Okay. And these handouts are in either Word or PDF format. And Brian and Catherine, who are organizing this whole event, they have all your details. So you don't have to worry about writing furiously. We will make sure that we email these documents to you so that you have them. So the first two lines are important. Coaching is about performing at your best through the individual and private assistance of someone who will challenge, stimulate, and guide you to keep on growing. Then we go on to say, essentially, it is about helping you to achieve self-actualization, a point at which you not only truly know yourself, but within this knowledge, possess a feeling of comfort with and understanding of the person you discover. And we go on to delve deeper into that and explain in more detail what that means. So, and again, at any point, if you have a question, just type it into the chat box and I will be delighted to deal with it. Absolutely delighted. I'm just so keen that you, ladies and gentlemen, get your questions answered today. Today is for your benefit. So make sure you don't go home or finish without asking everything you need. So let me share my screen. Okay, so we've covered that. And then this is the first part of the definition I shared with you. Coaching is about performing at your best through the individual and private assistance of someone who will challenge, stimulate, and of course, guide you to keep growing. So now, what I'd like to do is start to tell you a little bit about the coach training program that we as an organization take huge pride in. Oh, huge pride. We've developed these programs over many, many, many years. I'm going to start by showing my whiteboard, and I'll give you a brief overview on there, and then I'll take you through the program in a little bit more detail. So we, Noble Manhattan, have over 10 completely separate coach training programs. Everything from a one-day introduction right up now to a PhD in coaching. Our main program, though, we call it our flagship program, is our PCD. It stands for Practitioner Coach Diploma. And this is, we call it our flagship program because it trains everyone, no matter where you are in the world, to be an international, world-class life and executive coach. The program itself is and this is actually quite important, it is a diploma. Now, why is that important? Well, it is important because 99% of all coach training programs on the planet are certificates. They are not diplomas. And in the world of education, you get certificate, and then above that, you get diploma, and then above that, you get a degree at a university. So this program, the PCD, Practitioner Coach Diploma, is not as high as a degree, but it is significantly higher than any certificate. The program is 350 hours in length. Now, don't worry, it's spread out over a considerable time. This program is designed very specifically for people if you are in a full-time job, or if you are a full-time parent working with children. It's designed to allow you to spread it out over time. And the average person takes anywhere between 6 to 12 months to do the program. And the average person does 6 or 7 or 8 hours each week. So you can easily fit it around your lifestyle, your family, your children, and your work. But I want to frame it for you so you have a good idea of what is involved. So the average person does 6 hours a week or 7 hours a week, and they take between 6 and 12 months to do the program. The program is divided into different parts. And we call it, first of all, the distance part and the face-to-face part. So when you register, all of the course materials are sent to you, usually by courier, and you get course books, manual, log books, handbooks, and everything you need. There is no requirement for you to buy anything else after you have registered on the program. Everything is given to you. Then there is a certain amount of home study, certain amount, but we are there with you the whole time. We have a very sophisticated, incredible online student area. You might be familiar with the words or LMS, the Learning Management System, and we take you through the course very gently at your own pace. So we treat everyone as an individual and take you through at your own time, at your own pace. There are a certain amount of exercises to do. And we help you with all of those. There are 5 pieces of written work, essays and so on. But we don't want you to worry about those. These are not huge. The average is about, clear that. The average is about 1,000 words. That's about 2 A4 pages, if you're a bit unsure. And over the course of the year, there are 5 pieces of written work that you create and you submit. You then work in study groups. We call them study buddy. And these are groups of either 4 or 5 students that we set up, and you will work with these other students every week for about 30 minutes using Zoom or Skype. We will help you with all of that. And you act as a resource center, helping you go through the course as a unit, as a pod, helping each other with written work, with practice coaching, with observation, with feedback. Then we have webinars. And we do live webinars every single month, usually 2 brand new ones every month. And these are, one of them is a lecture on a completely separate topic. So there will be a webinar lecture on subjects like questioning skills, listening skills, values, ethics, belief, self-esteem, building rapport, abundance goals, and much, much more. They usually take place early in the evening because we're aware that people might be working, and they're live. You can engage and interact with your speakers, with your host, and any handouts will be made available in the student members area for you to access 24 hours a day and download. Now, if you can't make the live webinar, it doesn't matter. We have every single one of them recorded, and you can access them 24 hours a day. You can stream them or you can download them. So very, very flexible indeed. So we do a lecture every month, and we have a support and development webinar every month where you can just log in and ask any question that you want. Then, and by the way, this is all still part one of the training. Then we give you a mentor. Now, a mentor is one of our very senior coaches. They have to be qualified as a senior coach. They have over 750 hours of coaching documented. And every single student gets given their own personal private mentor. And that man or woman will work with you every couple of weeks for many, many, many months. They will work with you as your guide, your facilitator, your teacher, your trainer, and they will be your coach. And every time you meet them using a program like Zoom or Skype, and again, we provide it all, you will coach them. And they will give you guidance, they will give you feedback, and you will get better and better and better. And as the weeks go by, you will continue to get increasingly better. And then there will come a time when your mentor says, I think you are ready now for your final assessment. And the final assessment is a coaching call that you do with one of our master coaches. And our master coaches have got over 2,000 hours of documented coaching under their belt. So if you think of it, a bit like doing your driving lessons when you learn to drive a car, you had many, many driving lessons with an instructor. And then when they felt you were ready, they put you forward for your driving test, which you did with a different person. And that's a bit like it here. You do your mentoring and practice and training on a one-to-one basis with your mentor. And then when you are ready, you go forward for your final assessment. All of that, ladies and gentlemen, is part one of the training. Part two, we used to call it the physical part, is also divided into two. First of all, there is a 4-day, what used to be face-to-face training. Now we do it online, and it's incredibly effective. And this is 4 days of intensive lectures, practice, group work, observation work, and practice with feedback. We run these on a very regular basis, and we used to run them physically in many locations all around the world. Now we're doing them online. And again, when the world returns to normal, we will have both versions available. So the first part of the, shall we call it the physicality, is the 4-day residential. And we do those every couple of months. And the second part is our master classes. And we do these every single month. They last one whole day. And we do different versions. We do some at a weekend, some midweek. We're doing them online at the moment. So you as a student have the choice of deciding which ones would suit you best, which time zones, and which format. What I didn't mention is that all of our courses are done in multiple languages. Multiple languages. We do all of our courses in English, Polish, Turkish, Bulgarian, Romanian, Spanish, and we're now working on Arabic, and we're nearly finished with having it completely ready in Arabic, and we're working in the background right now on Russian, and that will be ready probably in the spring. So everything I've told you about our programs is available in multiple languages. So I'll stop that share for the moment, and I'll take you through the PowerPoint that shows you this in slightly more detail, and then we'll stop and I'll take some more questions and maybe give you all after that a 10-minute coffee break. So looking at the course that I've just spent some time showing you, I'm showing you now on the PowerPoint, and we can make this available to you. We can also send you the full brochures, etc., which detail it in even more detail. But you may or may not know that you and I, as human beings, learn in different ways. We have what we call modalities of learning. Some of us are very visual. I'm like that. I like to learn visually. Some of us are auditory. We like to learn by hearing. And some of us are what we call kinesthetic. We like to learn by touching and feeling and putting things together. Well, you'll be pleased to know that we have structured this course, the Practitioner Coach Diploma, in such a way that it is actually delivered using all the modalities. So whatever your dominant and preferred learning style, you will find it very easy to go through the program. And again, we cope for a combination of learning styles. There will be elements of reading quietly on your own at home, some research, some home study and written work, webinar, conference call training, one-to-one mentoring. We have many, many modules. The course is divided into many different sections. Each section is a complete standalone course in its own right. So we have mini courses on communication skills, questioning skills, listening skills, building rapport, values, beliefs, goals, self-esteem, and many, many more. Each mini course has got course manuals, exercises, written work, webinars, and will be covered by your mentor as well. When you join, wherever you are in the world, we will send you all of our manuals, our course books, our study guides, our logs, again in different languages. You can request the material in English, Turkish, Polish, Romanian, Bulgarian, Hungarian, Spanish, Arabic, and soon Russian. So we have them in all the languages. As I've mentioned before, there's some written work, there's the mentoring, the live final assessment. We also make a work available to everyone, if you wish it and if you need it, support coaching. And when you finish your training and you receive your diploma and you go out into the big wide world as a qualified international life and executive coach, we allow you to keep accessing our support coaching, and there's no charge. And you can come to our support groups and our meetings every month, again, no charge. We do webinars and teleclasses every month. And when you finish your course and you're qualified, again, completely free, you can carry on accessing those forever at no charge. Because we have been training coaches for 20 years, and we have been delivering lectures and webinars every month for 20 years, we have a library of literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of recorded lectures. These are available to you the very minute you join the program. And when you finish and you are qualified, you carry on having free access to those forever. I mentioned study buddy groups. You will also, during the course, in fact, we've just changed that recently, you'll be pleased to know. And during the course, you will end up also doing coaching practice. And you will do in the region of 60 hours of actual coach practice. You will also be able to attend regional and international coaching support groups. These take place in two ways. One is physical, where people actually physically meet once a month in a location, and the other is online. So again, these are available also in different language sections. Part 2 is a 3-day plus 1 day, so actually a 4-day experiential experience. We do it in groups of 20 to 25 students with up to 8 staff. So very, very hands-on, a fantastic ratio of staff to students. And it's 4 days of experiential coaching with observation and feedback. And then after that, you will go on and engage in weekly 1-day masterclasses on a very regular basis. So, I want to show you, just so you get a feeling for this, even though because of the state of the world right now, we're not doing it this way, but we at Noble Manhattan have a number of training venues all around the world. And in normal times, we do these 4-day experiences physically in one of these. At the moment, we're doing them online, but I want to give you a feeling for the type of place where we do our training, and at some point in the future, you may want to come. What I didn't say, ladies and gentlemen, is that when we do these physically, we pay for all of your accommodation, we pay for all of your food, all of your refreshments, absolutely everything. We cover all of the costs. And we are the only coach training company in the world to do that. So I'll say that again. We pay for all of your food, all of your refreshments, and all of your accommodation. We also allow our students to bring a partner with them, either a husband or a wife, and so on. They can be with you in your room. They wouldn't join you during the classrooms, during the training, but they can be with you for breakfast, lunch, evening meal, and so on. We're a very family-oriented business. So this is one of our training venues in the United Kingdom, near a town called Oxford. This is one of our training venues in Romania, the beautiful town of Pradal. This is where we train people in the capital city, Sofia, in Bulgaria, up on the mountain, looking out over the beautiful city of Sofia. This is our training center in the forest and by the lakes just outside Warsaw in Poland. This is our training center in Turkey, in Antalya, right by the beach. They have 4 different swimming pools. And again, did I say we pay for all of your accommodation? We pay for all of your food when we do this. So that's a very popular resort. This is one in Palm Beach in Florida. And we've run a number of courses there. You'll notice one thing. We choose venues that are a little bit different. They allow you to experience nature and have a spiritually uplifting experience as well as training. So these are pictures of some of our people. We take them on walks and so on. So before I finish this section, I'm going to cover what will be on all of your minds. The question you will be asking yourself is, well, how much does this cost? What is the investment required to train as an international life and executive coach? I'm going to show you the next slide, which will lay it out very, very clearly. But before I do, I want to give you some comparisons. If you are interested in training to be a coach, we would strongly recommend that you check out other companies. It's very important that when you make a decision, you do it from a position of strength and knowledge. So we'd be very happy for you to look at other companies. And if I tell you about what we call the Premier Division, now we're not in the world of football, but the world of football talks about the Premier Division. In coaching, we talk about the Premier Division. There's 5 or 6 top companies. and we are one of those. Another one is called CTI. They do a great course. It's about 250 hours. They don't pay for the accommodation, but it's a great course. Today, worldwide, they charge $13,000. Another great company is Ericsson. Ericsson, worldwide coaching organization, wonderful material, good people. Theirs is $11,800 US. No payment plans, no flexibility. Then there's the Fielding Group. The Fielding Group is $14,000. Then there's Adler. Adler are an excellent company. They charge $14,000 US for their course. Then you have Georgetown University. Theirs is $18,000 US. So I just wanted to share that with you because it's always very important to be able to compare. This is how we do things. Now, we actually do things in a very, very different way. Like most companies, you have to have what is called a retail price. And I want you to listen to my next statement, ladies and gentlemen, and I want you to listen clear. In all 20 years, in all the thousands of coaches we have trained worldwide, no one has ever paid our retail price. Because we don't do it that way. We structure our cost so that it is applicable to each student. Let me explain. You can see there, it says the main retail price is €6,500 plus VAT. Now, the VAT, we said where applicable. For most people listening to this call tonight, there would be no VAT. But we have to add that, just VAT if applicable. Now, having said that, like most companies, we engage in marketing. We have a marketing department, and they are always coming up with a campaign. We have maybe a spring campaign, an Easter campaign, a summer campaign. At this time of year, we're looking towards Christmas, 1 month away. So we have a Christmas discount campaign. And you can see that we are currently offering 30% discount off of that price at the top until just before Christmas. We're launching into a new country, literally as we speak. We're about to launch into the wonderful country of Bosnia and Herzegovina. If you've never been there, I recommend you go. It is stunning. And therefore, to celebrate that, we're having an additional introductory discount of an extra €450, as well as the 30% Christmas discount. So you start with the 6,500 and you take off 30%, and then you take off 450. Whatever that leaves you with, we are then very happy to work closely with people and help them to put together a plan where they pay over a period of time. We know that not everyone would have that money up front. We then have two other things that no other coach training company in the world has. One is APL. It stands for Accreditation for Prior Learning. The word here is exemptions. You see, any good university would do this. We are the only coach training company on the planet to do this. It means if you already have knowledge or experience or skills or qualification in a particular area that is similar to what we teach, then we do not feel it is fair to charge you money for something you already know. So we send all of you a Word document, and it breaks the course down into all of its modules and parts, the learning outcomes, and we ask you to tell us what knowledge or experience or training you've done or qualifications or job roles that might be equivalent. And if there are, then we will exempt you from that part of the course. And that, of course, means it reduces the cost even more. So every one of you are free to see what exemptions you would get without any obligation of taking it further. So I want to say that again. We are happy for all of you to inquire about what exemptions you would get, and we will investigate that, and we will send you the Word document, and you can complete it and send it back without you being under any obligation to start the course. And finally, we have a bursary. And bursaries, like any good university, are for people who are in a difficult situation, people who are being challenged by life right now, and we make bursaries available to the right people as well. And finally, I mentioned what we call the physical elements of the course, the residentials. We do them both physically and we do them online. Once you are qualified and trained, we allow you to come back and re-attend as many of those as you want, and there is no cost for the training, none at all. So very flexible, and you can see that we have a slightly different attitude in the way that we do these things. So let me stop the share now and see if there's any questions. Anyone would like me to perhaps clarify any of my points in more detail? I'm very happy to do that.
Gerard, you had one question from earlier from Adi.
Okay.
She's honored to be here, or he's honored to be here. I'm not sure which it is. Could you please share the greatest lesson you learned so far in this journey of coaching?
Oh my goodness, isn't that an interesting question? Isn't that an interesting question? Okay, I'll say that, I'll do it in two ways. I'll link it, I'll tell you my experience, and then I'll tell you, but first of all, I'll tell you a study that was done a couple of years ago. The Fortune 500 organizations did a study among 200 of the top CEOs in the world. Top CEOs. These run the big mega multinational companies. These are women and men who make an awful lot of money. They have a huge amount of power. And you would consider that they have reached the top of their tree, you know, in their industry. And they did a survey and they told them all that it would be anonymous and, you know, they would never be revealed what they said. And they asked many questions. And one of the questions was, what is your biggest fear? And 70% of the top women and men running these companies in the world said their biggest fear was that they would get found out to be a fraud. Isn't that interesting? Their biggest fear was that they would be found out to be a fraud. Because although they look good, they talk well, they appear to be confident, deep inside, these men and women have got fears and worries and concerns and emotional issues just the same as everyone else. So to come back to Adi's question, my biggest revelation, would that be the word? That could be the right word. The biggest revelation is that all of us as human beings are absolutely the same. We are the same. And we have the same worries and fears and emotional challenges deep inside. And when I came to that realization a few years ago, I was shocked in a positive way, because I thought, my goodness, this is what coaching does. This is the hub of coaching. This is what coaching really does. It helps men and women to conquer their fears, to set goals, and to have the courage, to have the strength and the internal courage to go and achieve those goals. So I think that's probably my biggest revelation, if that helps, Ari. So, right. Any other questions from anyone at all? I'm thinking, because you've been very good, we've been going for an hour and 20 minutes, why don't we take a 10-minute break so you can go and stretch your legs, you can get yourself a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or a glass of water, and then come back, please, no more than 10 minutes. Is that okay, everyone? Yeah, cool. So now I'm looking at my watch at 20 past the hour. Let's reconvene at exactly the half hour by my watch. Thank you. Thank you. I'm assuming that people have Alexander has asked a question. A question that is probably not right now, but at the end. How can a fresh coach start finding clients? Great question. Are there special platforms? There are. How much should a fresh coach want per session? I'm going to cover that. Is it possible to pay for single mentoring for the starting coach? Perfect. Let me cover that. I'm planning to do that anyway. Great. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming back. In this second half, I want to cover a number of interesting subjects. I want to talk about earnings, income. How much does a coach make today in the real world? And I'll give you absolute examples, and I'll show you where you can go to find this information. I'm going to talk about accreditation and standards. I'm going to talk about spiritual coaching, and I hope I don't scare you all away when I do that. And then I'll talk to you about the backup and the support and the help that we give you to find clients and to get your clients and to start earning an income. And then, of course, between all of that, any questions that you have. Before I embark on that, let me just remind people of a couple of activities that will be happening within the next week. This coming Saturday, which is in 2 days, Catherine, Brian, and their international team are running a one-day masterclass. Now, you might remember, masterclasses are actually part of the big coach training program. And Catherine, I don't want to say anything that isn't right. Am I right that you are going to make this available for people on this call if they want to join in?
Yes, they have. You probably all, those of you who are on the call may have already received our email with invitation, but I just want to stress again that you're welcome to join us. Normally, we, some of you on the call, I mean, you're many, but some of you are already students in training on our courses, and you are going to be there anyway because you're part of the masterclass and it's part of your training. And usually it's a closed event. We don't invite outside people because it's we get really deep into coaching, and we train and we practice and we learn together. It's an international group. We have almost 11 nationalities currently present on that masterclass. So you'll have a lot of fun meeting a lot of really great coaches from 11 nationalities. It's awesome experience. It's 7 hours all day. I hope you have the opportunity to join us if you want to. It's a one-time opportunity that we simply are making available as part of the overall Introduction to Coaching week that we're doing between today and next weekend.
Is there a charge for that?
Yes. So as your email already probably explained to you, to attend, this is a friendly filtering, we call it a filtering fee, because you are already a lot of people on the call, and we want to make sure that only those who really want to be there will be there. So if you want to join, it's 44 euros to join the masterclass. Part 2 of Introduction to Coaching is 36 euros to join next week. However, if you want to join both, it's a one ticket of 50 euros. So basically you're paying like minimal, like 25 euros to just show up and be there if you want to participate. And we're hoping that you'll be able to join us.
And if people check, they'll find that all around the world, normally a masterclass is about 120, 130 per day.
Yes, actually our masterclass costs,
in fact, some of them are 200 a day.
Yeah. So
okay,
a filtering fee, and we're making it as simple and as accessible as possible. But we're hoping to, yes, and we're hoping to have a really quality experience with some of you that you will join us.
Great. And next Thursday, the 3rd of December, we're doing part 2 of this, ladies and gentlemen, which is actually learning and experiencing and demonstrating a coaching model. I will be teaching everyone a coaching model called the Coaching Circle. It's specifically designed, created by us, used now worldwide by most companies. It's designed to help anyone who works in a company, in an organization, in a business, to get the most out of their team, their staff, and their people. It's designed for a coach who works with a client to help the client get the most from themselves. It's designed to help people become more effective and more efficient at any job or task that they currently do. So next Thursday, I will be explaining it, then I will demonstrate it, and then we will work with you, allowing everyone the opportunity to practice it and give feedback. So it'll be quite an interactive, quite a hands-on session. Again, 2 or 3 hours to cover all of that. So that's Thursday. Is it the same time, Katrin, as
Same
this?
time, same, no, the link is different. But as you register, we'll send you the link.
All right, fantastic. So now what I want to do, ladies and gentlemen, is talk to you about incomes. How much does a coach earn? How do they get their clients? Accreditation and standards in the coaching world. And then I want to finish off with what I call spiritual coaching. So let me start. I'm going to stop my camera and I'm going to use my whiteboard and share that with you all. So again, I'm going to give you some actual examples, and these examples have come from 2 organizations. One is a very well-known organization called PwC, Price Waterhouse Coopers. I'm sure many of you have come across them, a worldwide accounting consulting company. And they have done a survey on coaching at the beginning of this year, worldwide. The survey is available as a 150-page downloadable PDF on their main website, and it's free. So what I'm about to share with you has been produced by them. You can also get these very identical figures from another company called Sherpa. I'll write it S-H-E-R-P-A, Sherpa Consulting. Now there's an English Sherpa and there's an American. It's the American company. If you go to their website, again, they do a survey every single year on coaching all around the world, and theirs is available for you to download. But let me distill it and give you a rough idea. If we take a new coach, a brand new coach, straight out of training, when they work with their clients, and I'm talking life coaching now, not executive coaching. I will cover executive coaching in a few moments, but life coaching. The average life coaching session lasts about 60 minutes or 1 hour. Sometimes a bit less, sometimes a bit more, but that's a good average to work on. As a brand new coach, straight out of training, and I'm going to give you some different figures because in different parts of the world, it's different. In the United Kingdom and Western Europe, like Netherlands, Belgium, Spain, France, Germany, Italy, and so on, a brand new coach straight out of training would be charging, and I'm going to use euros, per session, something along the lines of 75. And that's an average. When, however, they have been doing it for about 1 year, a number of things change. They themselves are getting more experienced, they are getting more confident, they are getting more competent, they are getting testimonials from clients, they're getting referrals. And we notice that at about the 1 year point, coaches put their fees up. And they generally go up to about between 125 and 150 per session. Now, this is in Western Europe. In America, it starts around the $100 and goes up to about 175 after the year, 175 to 200 on average. Then if you go to places like Moldova, Romania, maybe some parts of the Balkans, it would start less. It would start more at the 40 euros per session and go up to about 80 after the year. The different parts of the world, they have different standards of living, different costs of living, and this is reflected in what the coach would charge. However, as coaches then become more experienced and they move up the ladder, and within the world of coaching, we have a rank structure, ladies and gentlemen. We have master. Oh, sorry. I'll type that instead because my little. So we have master, senior, practitioner. There is one above master actually called fellow. To become a master coach, you have to have done over 2,000 hours coaching. To become a senior coach, you have to have done over 750 hours coaching and 350 hours training. And to be a practitioner coach, you have to have done about 60 hours coaching and something along the lines of 200 hours training. Oh, sorry, that should be 200. So all of the accreditation bodies around the world have got their rank structure, but this is what it comes down to in almost all of them. And I was talking to you about just now the earnings of a practitioner coach. A practitioner coach, a new coach, a young coach learning their trade. We then have people called master coaches. And today in the world, master coaches are charging anything from 200 to over 1,000 euros per session. I'll ask a question for you all. You might or might know the answer. Maybe you can type it. But where do you think, or what country in the world today do you think coaches earn the more money, the most money? Would anyone like to? I'll stop my share. Anyone like to type in or have a guess? What country today, and it shows up on the surveys, do coaches earn the most money? So I've got USA, USA, US, 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 UK, UK, USA. Yeah, unfortunately, no. Now they're good. Oh, Sweden, China, people have put them. Sweden, they do very well, yes. Norway, yeah, very good. Right now, as I speak, and by the way, things change. But right now it's Germany. And right now in Germany, coaches are earning over 1,000 euros per session. Not per day, per session. Now that would generally be executive coaching. And executive coaches earn anything from 200 to 1,000 per session. 200 would be a young, new executive coach straight out of training. 1,000 would be an experienced coach. They have a reputation, they have experience, they get recommendations, they have existing clients, and so on. The course I told you about shortly, a short while ago, trains you to be both a life coach and an executive coach. And when you finish that course, you will have enough hours to be a practitioner coach, but you will have enough training to be a senior coach. So you're well on the way to being a senior coach, and you will be a qualified life and executive coach. So, any questions on that to do with the earnings? And again, as I say, if you go to the websites of PwC or Sherpa, then you will be able to download their PDF, the worldwide survey they did, and you'll see they break it down by every country, every type of coaching, and it's very enlightening. Very enlightening indeed. What I didn't mention when I talked about accreditation was that our course is the only course in the world to be accredited by 4 completely separate organizations. We are accredited, if I can find, I'm going to share my screen with you again, and I'm going to share some websites with you here. We as an organization are delighted that our course that I talked to you about and our company are accredited by 4 separate organizations. The first is this one, IAPC&M, the International Authority for Professional Coaches and Coaching and Mentoring. They currently operate in well over 100 countries around the world. I think it's 110. We are also accredited by an American organization that many of you will have heard of, the ICF, International Coach Federation. And we have been accredited by that organization for quite some time. They again are in well over 100 countries around the world. We are delighted to be accredited by this organization, which has probably the highest standards. The ILM. It stands for Institute of Leadership and Management. It's one of the only accreditation bodies in the world to have governmental approval and backing. And it is in over 150 countries around the world. Our courses are accredited by the ILM at their highest possible level. In fact, they equate our courses to the equivalent of a master's. And finally, our courses are accredited by this, the International Regulator of Coaching and Mentoring. These are a magnificent organization, again, with governmental backing. And they are, if you've ever heard the word in the past, I don't know if it's familiar to you, they act as an ombudsman. So they are the ombudsman of the industry. Now, what does ombudsman mean? Well, in every country you have industries, and every industry has an ombudsman. So the energy industry, electricity and gas, the pharmaceutical industry, the transport industry, the agricultural meat and milk industry, and so on. All of these many, many different industries have an ombudsman. And an ombudsman is an organization that you can go to make an official complaint. So if you are being treated by one of these big bodies in a way that you don't feel is correct and you feel that you are due something, you can go to the International Ombudsman and Regulator and make an official complaint, and they will act on your behalf. They are there to protect the public. And we are the only coach training company to be accredited by the International Regulator of Coaching and Mentoring. So we're absolutely delighted by that. So now, again, if there's any questions, I'm delighted to take them. And what I'm then going to do now is I'm going to talk about spiritual coaching. And I hope I don't scare you all away. Before I do that, Alexander has asked a good question. He said, I'll read it to you all. It sounds very good, but I am more focused to find a way to start. I don't need to earn a lot. More important is to have a stable amount of coaches to work with. Absolutely great. Right. So how do you get going? That is a question that I am sure many of you have in your mind. So within the program that we mentioned to you, we cover a lot of ways of how to build your business. As well as that, we have another short course called Build Your Coaching Practice. And that course is designed specifically, totally specifically, to help you actually get clients and build your business. And that course is available to every one of our people, everyone. And we do that on a regular basis. We used to do it physically, now we do it online. So we actually have a specific course that teaches you, trains you, and leads you by the hand. It assumes you know absolutely nothing, and it will teach you everything you need to set up your business, to start your marketing, to create your platform, to set up your social media. It teaches you about creating databases. It teaches you about creating newsletters. It teaches you how to build your databases. It teaches you about creating landing pages, about products to create. It teaches you how to structure your income and how to structure your charging and your fees. Now, as well as all of that, I'm going to just remind you again of some of the other divisions we have that are there to help you get your clients. And these are available to every one of you. We have Coach Finder. Coach Finder is a worldwide directory that you can put up your profile. Here we go. You put up your profile, people click on it. It will take you to your bio. You can have videos and audios there and telling the world about what you do. You can tell the world the type of coaching you do, and the world can see where you are. So customers or clients can find you either by geography or type of coaching or by your profile. We then have the magazine, International Coaching News, the biggest magazine in the coaching world. We allow all of you to submit material and articles to be published in the magazine. How much do we charge? Nothing. Zero. Niet. Nada. Absolutely nothing. It's free for you all. We then have Coach Radio. We allow every one of you to have your own monthly radio shows, and you can do it in your own language. And we've done a deal. We've done a deal with a company called iTunes. I'm sure you've heard of them. And all of our shows appear on iTunes and stay there forever. This is a way that we are working to help you raise your brand, your profile, and your image. When you do our course, one of the things that you will do is write essays. We will do this completely free of charge. We are the only company in the world that we will take your final essay and we will turn it into a beautiful looking ebook for you. And we will do that with our IT teams. We will then publish that for you on our publishing site, booksforyou.online. Again, to help you raise your brand and your profile. You can also submit other work to us, other ebooks, articles, case studies, and we will publish those. We have a division called Get Coaching Lead, and this is available to you. And you may not understand the language I'm using now, but we create for you landing pages, sales pages, marketing emails, banners, cookies and links to help you reach out into the world and attract potential clients all over the globe. And finally, well, actually we have others, but finally for today, we have the coaching blog, which was voted in the top 20 out of 47 million blogs for leadership and coaching. And we allow every one of you to submit material and submit article for the blog. So taking all of that together, we actually not only train you, but we look after you and take care of you. And then having trained you, we then train you how to get clients. You see, we don't want you to just be a good coach. We want you to be a successful coach. And Alexander said, what's the name of the course? And Brian has answered, it's called Build Your Coaching Practice, sometimes called Business Building Day. So does anyone have any other questions related to that particular subject? No? Okay. All right. Just a quick point. There's a couple of you that have not muted yourself, and it is lovely to hear what's happening in your kitchen. And I wish I could be there having a coffee with you, but perhaps it might be a good idea just to keep the button muted. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk to you about what we call spiritual coaching. And I'll finish off with this, and I hope I don't scare you all away. So I'm showing you my PowerPoint. First of all, I'm showing you a slide called Living Lightly. Why am I doing that? Well, this is just something that I was taught by someone very close to me a long time ago, and I've taken it to heart, and I'm just sharing it with you. I think that we as coaches, we as human beings, should be living lightly. And living lightly is all about living lightly on the earth and not taking ourselves too seriously. Living our lives with elegant simplicity. Acknowledging and liberating beauty and letting go of unnecessary baggage. And we all have so much extra baggage. And finally, revealing the spirit that lives, that infuses all things. So that's just a little bit of my thinking on how I like to live my life, and I'm not saying you should, I'm just merely sharing it with you so you get a feeling of my attitude to things. Now I want to talk to you about spiritual coaching. Now, what do I mean by spiritual coaching? Well, I've divided it into a number of different small sections, and this is my garbled, inarticulate description of what spiritual coaching is. First of all, self-awareness. Who am I? What are my good points? What are my bad points? What turns me on? What turns me off? You know, I was actually 3 weeks ago, I was in the small town of Delphi, a couple of 100 kilometers west of Athens in Greece. And 4,000 years ago, there was a word written above the door of the Delphic oracle. And the word was Gnosti. And it simply means know thyself. And what was true for us as humans 4,000 years ago was true 3,000, 2,000, 1,000, and today. You see, the truth never changes. And you and I as coaches, and as human beings, and as people who work with our clients, we should know ourselves. And it becomes increasingly difficult today in the world of social media, in the world of smartphones, in the world of WhatsApp, where we are being given contradictory messages all the time. We are being told by the world what we should think. We are being told what we should look like. We are being told what we should wear. It becomes increasingly difficult to turn inwards and really know who you are and what benefits you. And this is what coaching does with clients. Next, being vision and value led. You know, spiritually intelligent people want to serve something larger than themselves. They want to make a difference. It doesn't have to be a huge thing. It could be just a little thing. But they have a vision. They have a vision of somehow contributing, somehow making a difference. But they don't always know what that vision is and how to access it. And as coaches, one of the things we specialize in is helping people to look within and create their own vision of who they really are and who they could be. What they could see, what they could do, what they could achieve, what they could have, and more importantly, what they could leave. A legacy. Next, the capacity to face adversity and to use it constructively, to own my weakness, to learn from my mistakes. The word here is guilt. You know, we all do it. We all do it at some times. Something happens and we feel guilty about it. Maybe years go by and you forget, and suddenly you hear a song on the radio or a smell coming out of a restaurant, and it takes you back instantly to something in the past you feel guilty about. Well, guilt is interesting. Our suggestion is, don't do it. Well, maybe you should. You see, it has a purpose. The purpose of guilt is to learn, to understand, to take the learnings from the Institute and to apply those learnings in your life now so that you move into the future in a positive way. What you should not do is just keep repeating the mistakes. So yes, feel guilty, understand it, learn from it, apply the lessons to your life to create a more compelling future for yourself. And coaching teaches us how to do this. We have techniques just for this. Next, being holistic, seeing the connection between all things. You know, if people only knew how all human beings on this planet were so closely connected, they couldn't for 1 minute think of hurting another human being. And yet, if you watch the news, you see that people all over the world today are trying to hurt other people all over the world today. In coaching, we have a word for this. We call it a disconnect. There is a huge disconnect out there. And coaching teaches us how to be connected. First of all, to be connected to yourself. You know, the truth is this: you can't love another human being unless you love yourself first. Now, in case you think I'm being crazy, when I say the word love, I don't mean looking in the mirror and thinking you look good. It's nothing about looks. Love is about caring and compassion for other people. And it's important that you care for yourself and you have acceptance for yourself. And only then can you care and accept and have compassion for other people. And coaching teaches us this. Next, tolerance and the celebration of diversity. You see, the person who is the same as me has nothing to teach me. It's the person who is different from me is really my teacher. And for those of you who know me well, you know that I just love to travel. I love to travel so much. And it's because of this. I love to meet different people, make friends all over the world, because it's the people who are different who really teach us the important lessons in life. And yet, there are some people all over the world who want to push people away, people who are different. Coaching teaches us to embrace our differences. Next, field independence. Standing against the crowd, another way of saying that is standing up for yourself. And it takes courage, it takes strength, it takes emotional stability and strength. When the world is going in one direction and you want to go in the other, and when you say things that are against what the majority say or think or believe, fingers get pointed, and it takes a lot of courage. And coaching teaches us how to reach deep inside ourselves and find that courage. the courage to stand up for what we truly believe, the courage to say what we truly think. The ability and willingness to ask questions, to be concerned about the why of things. You see, we were all like this when we were children. We were all like this when we were very little boys and girls. We constantly asked our parents, why? We never stopped asking. And then we grew up. And there came a point in our lives where we made a decision, consciously or subconsciously, that it's easier to get along with people if you just go along. And in every culture, we have phrases like, don't rock the boat, don't make waves, don't be a troublemaker. So there's a great pressure out there for everyone to just go along and be the same. And coaching teaches us the importance of asking questions. And we would live in a different world today, ladies and gentlemen, if everyone had to be transparent about their reason for doing things. And next, harmlessness and compassion. Normally, you see the words humility and compassion joined together. In coaching, we talk about harmlessness and compassion. You see, the number one rule in coaching, numero uno, is do no harm. Never hurt another human being. And linked to that is compassion. The need and the importance to have compassion for everyone. Next, the ability to refrain from things. Now, what do I mean? In the world we live in today, we are surrounded by things that demand our attention. People spend hours every day watching television, watching soap operas, watching reality shows, and doing all this type of thing. And coaching teaches us to step away from that. You know, there's a great question you can ask yourself, a great coaching question, which is, how does this serve me? Or you could say, how does this benefit me? And the answer is, not very much. So coaching teaches us, and I use the expression all the time, look up and look out. Especially when I'm working with business owners who get totally caught up in their own business. I say, look up from your business and look out into the world. See what's coming. See what's out there. Will it help you? Will it hurt you? And as individuals, we need to look up and look out. Look out into the world and see what's coming. Is it going to help? Is it going to hurt? And what can we do? And finally, spontaneity and flexibility, freedom, the passion to be, to know, to play, to be free, the quality of living in the moment. This is my definition of spiritual coaching. And I'm going to share one more thing with you, and I'll show you the whole slide. I believe, and this is just my belief, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not teaching this to you, I'm not asking you to go along with this, I'm just sharing my feelings. I believe that people need three things. We need attention. Why? To fulfill our deep-seated need of significance. Every human being in the world needs to feel significant. And it's okay to want a little bit of attention focused on you. There's nothing wrong with wanting just a little bit of attention sometimes. Next, appreciation. As human beings, we are worthy. And it's okay to want to feel appreciated for who you are and what you do. Even if it's something small, like cooking a meal or doing something small at work. It's important that we show appreciation to everyone around us. And finally, we need affection. But I don't really mean affection. What I really mean is love. The only problem is it throws out my AAA formula, attention, appreciation, affection. But we need love, and everyone needs it. And this is one of the greatest things in the world to do with coaching. Coaching teaches us how to love our clients, and how to love working with them and how to help them achieve everything they want in the world today. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I wanted to cover with you today. I'll stop my share. I'll put my camera back on. And I'm here to answer any final questions, anything at all that you might want to ask or say. I'm happy if you want to ask it or type it. While I am waiting for that, we're all very approachable here in Noble Manhattan. I might be the CEO of a multinational, but if any of you ever wanted to connect on LinkedIn, I would be very happy. I would be delighted. So you would only ever have to request and we would accept. From Priya, she asks, can we do it in an accelerated format? I'm guessing you mean the coach training. The answer is yes. Priya, the course itself is 350 hours of training. The average person takes 6 to 12 months. The fastest anyone has ever done it was a lady called Barbara. She broke the record. She went crazy. She did it in 3.5 months. She went like a woman possessed. But we also allow people to take longer. You can stretch it out, take 12 months, 14, 16, 18. So we're very flexible. So you can go very fast if you want, or you can slow it down. We work at your pace. So I'm hoping that was what you meant, Priya, by wanting to know, can you do it in accelerated format? And Okshana, thank you for sharing. Okay, so I've answered her questions. Ilona, like my AAA. Yes, you can borrow that. You just tell them where you got it. You can borrow that.
Gerard, you have one from Alexander.
Okay.
Is it a good idea to do semi-free coaching to start with?
Oh, well, yes. Okay, Alexander. If I had time, I would talk to you all, maybe on another day we can do this, about niching. Some coaches niche, some don't niche. What do I mean? Some specialize in being a health coach, a wealth coach, relationship coach, career coach, and so on. I don't. I will coach anyone. And the greatest advice I ever got was from a man called Thomas Leonard, an American. We call him the father of coaching. He started life coaching in 1984, and he died a few years ago, bless him. But he told me many years ago, he said, Gerard, the best advice I can give you is coach anything that moves. Coach anything that moves. And it's a great piece of advice. So don't worry about niching. Just get as many coaching hours under your belt as you can. Practice as much as you can. Now, coming to the question about doing a free session, I certainly did. When I started, I used to offer free 30-minute sessions to anyone that wanted them, because I wanted to get as much coaching practice under my belt. I wanted to become good. I thought of myself as if I'm at school, I'm doing my apprenticeship, and I want to learn my trade. So, and I also found that was a great way of getting paying clients. If I did a free session and they really liked it, it made it much easier for me to turn that person into a paying client. And I had a degree of success, quite a degree of doing that. So I'm hoping, Sasha says, do you have information about how many people who finished your course are working as a coach? Yes and no. That's a funny answer, isn't it? We like to keep in touch with as many of our students as we can. It's completely free to be a member of our support groups, come back on our webinars, and engage with us. But not everyone does. Probably about 50 or 60% of the people who train with us do keep in touch, and we get to know them. Of that 50 or 60%, and we've been doing this for 20 years, about 70% are doing it as a coach. And about maybe 20 to 30% over the years have decided to do other things. So I'm hoping that answers. Is there a spiritual coaching diploma available? No, but I do a one-day course on goal achievement, incorporating meditation. We used to do it with a gentleman called Deepak Chopra. Don't know if you've ever heard of Deepak. He used to be a 2-day course, meditation and goal achievement. And we do that still. And that's very heavily based on the spiritual aspect of coaching. We only do one a year. We limit it to about 15 or 20 people. We haven't done one for about a year because of the whole coronavirus thing. Arnella says, thank you, I've had some good information. Lady says, I like that about coaching anything that moves. Yes. And he was right.
There's
yes.
Olga is asking, how are people coping with the changes that they obviously realize they must make during a coaching session?
Do you mean the changes that they as an individual need to make, or are we talking about the changed world today? I'll talk about the second one while you think about that, and you can come back to me. As you all know, we're now in a different world, and we have this coronavirus. And at the time, back in March, when in the United Kingdom, it started to affect the country and we had lockdowns, I was wondering what's going to happen to our coach training programs and to coaching, because I am a coach. I have my own clients. And I can honestly tell you, it has gone up. Coaching is needed now more than ever. And I have been approached by organizations and individuals within organizations, managers and so on, that want me to coach them and their people because of the extra stresses and strains being put on people because of the coronavirus, because of being laid off work, or having to, or in most cases, having to work from home. And that brings extra complications and mental health issues. And there are many companies that are willing to pay for their people to be coached through this time. So that we found wonderful. And Olga came back and she said, as individuals. So, okay, there is an exercise we teach people, Olga, called values elicitation. I won't go into it now, but it goes very deeply into what people believe, the actions they take in life, and the beliefs and the emotions that cause those actions, that sit behind them. And in this values elicitation, we then start to evaluate with the client what they should be doing and what they really want. Deep, we use the word core, their core values, because a lot of people take on the values of their family, their friends, their community, their church, their country, their company, and so on. So we take on the values of society around us. And when you work with a client and you help them to get back to their own true core values, I'll use the word, it is cathartic. It has a huge effect and impact on them, mentally, psychologically, emotionally, sometimes even physically. I've had big, strong men break down in tears. But it's all positive because it's the positive change. They then start to do what they truly want to do in life, not what society dictates. So yes, it causes very large changes in some people. In some people. I hope that helps, Olga. I hope that helps. And Jose says, I want to be a coach to follow myself. Does it make sense? Oh, it makes huge sense. Absolutely. Because as you are going through the course, you are learning all of the coaching methods, techniques, tools, lots of practice, lots and lots and lots of coaching practice. And if it impacts you and changes you as an individual. And there are many people who do the coaching or the training just so that they can grow their own lives and the people close to them. Mothers, fathers, wives, husbands, children, brothers, and so on. Many people do it just for that reason. But yeah, it makes perfect sense. Any other questions? Brian, am I missing any questions here?
Not that I can see. I've already answered Julia's.
Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to close now. We're coming to the 2.5 hour point, and we don't want to overrun. We want to keep our promise from you. It's been a pleasure, absolute pleasure. If you want to connect with myself, Catherine, Brian on LinkedIn, we'd be delighted. My name is easy, Gerard O'Donovan. There's not many out there on LinkedIn. And I hope to see you all one day, maybe on a course on Zoom, but better than that, one day when the world gets back to normal, I want to physically see you when I visit your region. So God bless you all. Have a safe afternoon, have a safe evening, and I look forward to getting to know you a bit better. Thank you.
Thank you, Gerard. And thank you, everyone, for spending this time with us. And we look forward to continue in part 2 next week, on Thursday. Or if anyone of you wants to join us on Saturday, we look forward to seeing you then. And otherwise, we'll keep in touch. We'll send you shortly this presentation that Gerard sent. So make sure that we all have your email addresses so we can communicate with you. And if you don't, for whatever reasons, don't receive the email with the PowerPoint, please drop me a line and remind us to make sure we include everybody and we don't miss anyone. So thank you again. Enjoy your evening. Till next time.
Thank you, Catherine. I will send you the updated PowerPoint to you and Brian.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.